Welcome to Fake Love and Flying Monkeys, the podcast where fake love is exposed. I'm Nova Gibson and I am your host. I'm the principal counsellor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counselling.com.au. This space is dedicated to helping you reclaim your worth and understand the impact of toxic relationships with suspected narcissists. You deserve clarity, healing, and freedom from the pain of fake love and flying monkeys. So please leave a review and grab a copy of my book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Let's uncover the truth and take back your power. Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. What happens when a narcissist can't control you anymore? We all know that narcissists love to be in charge. They are all about power, control, dominance, and even when you think that you're in charge and they're making you the number one thing in their life, they are calling the shots because they're in a state of manipulating you. No matter what they're doing, how they're treating you, the narcissist is always in a state of controlling you. It doesn't matter what sort of relationship it is, whether it's a romantic one, whether it's a narcissist in the workplace, or a family member, a parent, a sibling. They thrive on their manipulation tactics, which bring you under their control. That's what it's all about. That's how they get their narcissistic supply. But what happens when they start to lose their grip? What happens when you start to pull away and you no longer react to the strategies that have always worked for them? Well, if you have managed to escape their clutches, or if you're still in the relationship with your abuser, then you will probably remember what happened when you didn't take the bait or you stood up for yourself. They would fly into a narcissistic rage. It would be scary sometimes. And that's because they have sensed that they no longer have that control over you. And they can't just crook their little finger and have you react in exactly the way they have conditioned you to react. Whilst still in the relationship with the narcissist and not really knowing who you're dealing with, you may have thought to yourself, no, I'm not giving in this time. I'm keeping my boundaries firm. I'm not letting them get away with what they did to me. And then that was when you saw the person who exists behind the mask. You saw the narcissist in all their glory, because when you call them out or you stop reacting, in other words, you're saying to the narcissist, you're not as strong as you think you are. You're not in control. Then what you're actually doing is you're exposing to them that you know who they really are. And that is a sin that needs to be punished. That is one of the most egregious wounds you can inflict upon their ego. And they will rage. Or when they sense you're pulling away, you're not reacting as usual, they will seek to rein you back in again. So if you don't act on cue, you're either punished or they give you the breadcrumbs, the little snippets of the love bombing again. And it's probably not anything like the love bombing you experienced in the beginning, but it feels so good because the abuse has ended and because it's in just such stark contrast to the abuse that you take them back, you put off your plans for leaving if that's what you were doing, and you move on like nothing happened. Wash, rinse, repeat. And the narcissist knows you intimately. They have studied you like a test subject, and they know exactly when you start to change your behavior and they subsequently change their behavior. If you think that you are doing all the right things in manipulating them, you're just trying to keep the peace because let's say you're planning to escape, or maybe you've called the divorce lawyer and you're just waiting for information and for the right moment to plan your exit. They know when you stop reacting or stop acting in exactly the way they are used to, whether that's to rage back at them with that reactive abuse, or whether that's you're being nice or too nice. They know, and they know that they have to step up their game to regain control of you, or they're going to lose that narcissistic supply. And they have put a lot of work into getting you hooked on this toxic cycle of abuse. Now, the narcissist has an extremely fragile sense of self. And to keep their ego intact, they need to rely on you and everyone around them to maintain that air of superiority, to mask what is really shame and vulnerability and weakness. If they lose that control over you, then they experience an incredibly nasty narcissistic injury. It's a huge wound, and that threatens that false mask, that false self-image that they have spent a lifetime building and maintaining. So let's look at a few ways the narcissist reacts when they sense they're losing that control over you. As I said earlier, they will rage, they will lash out at you, and it can be explosive. It can be extremely frightening. But it's not just about anger for the narcissist. They're in a state of panic. They need to regain that control because you have exposed them, and that is a fate worse than death to a narcissist. You are inadvertently telling them they are weak if they can't control you. They will engage in horrific verbal attacks, calling you every insulting name under the sun. They may even engage in physical attacks and really destructive behavior, breaking things, smashing holes in walls. But it's not just about their anger. When they're losing control, they're in a massive state of panic. They feel weak, they feel vulnerable, and they feel totally exposed. And they are desperate to get that dominance over you back. Now, if you manage to escape this toxic relationship, or even if you're discarded and you're not begging them to come back and it doesn't look like you're pining after them, or you may even be, goodness forbid, healing, they will engage in a smear campaign. And this smear campaign is the same as a fit of narcissistic rage. It's all about raging at you, punishing you because they've lost control. They will accuse you of doing things that you've never done. They will spread terrible rumors. They will use their flying monkeys, their enablers. They will recruit them to attack you and to gather information, to act as their eyes and ears, to guilt trip you, or just to put pressure on you to do what they want. With the smear campaign, they may even try to destroy your reputation at your job in your community, if that's at church or some type of organization you belong to, or just among your mutual friends, they will sabotage those friendships. And once again, this boils down to needing to punish you because they can no longer control you. They will play the victim if that outright aggressive behavior doesn't work. They will switch to this role, the victim role, and suddenly they're the one who's wounded and you're the villain. When they're playing the victim, they may resort to using your empathy against you, pulling at your heartstrings. Once again, giving you everything you always wanted, which is someone with a heart that's not as cold as your average green tree snake. They will say things like, "You're abandoning me, you're leaving me like everyone else does," or "I did everything for you and this is how you treat me," or "I just don't understand why you're being so cruel. Can't you see how much you've upset me?" Or they may try to hoover you back. Now, for those of you who haven't heard that term, hoover is coined from the Hoover vacuum cleaner, meaning to suck you back into that toxic cycle of abuse. Now, to do that, they may love bomb you again with sudden affection and all those words that you've been dying to hear for so long and promising to change. Or they may fake an emergency, knowing that you would feel awful if you didn't go to their side when they were in that moment of distress. Or they may guilt trip you by bringing up all of these memories, saying things like, "Oh, do you remember that song? That was our song." Or that dance that we had on our wedding night. Wasn't it magical? But if the narcissist realizes that nothing is working, no matter what they do, they just can't get you to react the way they want, you may find yourself being triangulated with another new supply. They will always have a new supply. Or another family member. They want to feed off the insecurities they've created in you. And of course, if it's a romantic partner, they will want you to hurt because they were able to move on so quickly and discard you like you never existed. Your emotions make potent narcissistic supply for the narcissist, and they will exaggerate their happiness. You will find social media happy snaps if you're looking, which I hope you're not. They want you to think that they've never been with anyone who makes them feel better. And once again, it boils down to trying to make you jealous. Also, when a narcissist senses that they're losing control of you and they no longer have that power, then they will start to try and control the emotions, the thoughts, and the behaviors of everyone around you. If they can't control you, they're going to make damn sure they control everyone you know, or at least their perceptions. And when the narcissist realizes they truly have lost control of you, then they will resort to controlling the perceptions of everyone around you. They do this through the smear campaign. They want you to have no one. Ultimately, they still regain control of your emotions because they know how much it will hurt you and how isolated you will feel when people start treating you differently and they start dropping off from your friends list on Facebook, or they just start pulling away. So if you are still in the relationship with a narcissist, or if you've managed to escape, then please stay grounded in your reality. You are not crazy, and you deserve respect and peace. Their actions, their reactions are about them. They're not about you. Have evidence which can protect you, which means documenting everything. But if you find yourself recording their conversations and starting to document stuff, if you're still with them, then please recognize that, guys, as the biggest red flag that you will ever get, because we don't tend to Google our loved ones' behavior or record them when we're in a healthy relationship. If possible, go complete and utter no contact. Grey rock, we call it, if you share children or you work with them, perhaps. Block them, change your number, change your email. Do not engage with them. If no contact is not an option because you share children, then just be as boring and dull and emotionless as you possibly can, which of course is grey rock, because anything else is to give them the narcissistic supply they're trying to extract from you, and ultimately to give them that control back that they're craving. Breaking free, escaping from a narcissist can be dangerous. It's well documented that the most dangerous time for a domestic violence victim, which you are if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, that is when you are leaving. And why is that the most dangerous? Because they have lost control of you. And they won't just take it, accept it, and move on, because their whole sense of being is threatened. So they have to retaliate, lash out to repair the wound that you ultimately created when you wounded their ego by not wanting them anymore. But you are stronger than them. That is why they chose you. So knowing what to expect enables you to set firm boundaries and to say to yourself when it happens that you predicted it. It was textbook and that it was nothing that you did. You can then focus on what you should be focusing on, which is your healing. And when you break free from that trauma bond, from that toxic cycle, you will realize that all of the chaos they create after losing their control is proof that they never really cared about you painfully. They only cared about their power and their dominance over you. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Guys, when the narcissist in your life loses control of you, they will do anything and everything to regain that control. They will pull every strategy out of the book. When one doesn't work, they will completely flip and try another. So be prepared, know what to expect. Now, if you are going through your own tumultuous relationship breakup with a narcissist, or escape, I should say, and you are after some support, please reach out. I would love to support you in your narcissistic abuse recovery. I am a professional counsellor in Brisbane, Australia, but all my sessions are online via Zoom. Please see the link to my website where you can contact me in the description, where you will also find a link to my best-selling book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, available in Audible and Kindle as well, which will also be an invaluable resource to you. Now, on that note, it's bye from me for now. Until tomorrow's episode, please remember you are worthy of love, and you are worthy of so much more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.